Welcome back to TSM Question of the Week. Let's see, which one should we pick today? Why do unicorns poop sprinkles? Ew, well, I suppose if you ate what they did, you would poop sprinkles too. Should I dye my hair pink? Of course, pink goes with everything. Here we go. Is God humble? That's a good question. I guess the answer to that question depends on what you mean by humble. I think humility or humbleness can be summed up in two different aspects. The first, humility is an accurate understanding of your worth or your accomplishments. We see a lack of humility all the time when people claim to be the best at something or maybe even break a few records, but sooner or later they always get beat. The records always get broken. Any of you hockey players remember Maurice "Rocket" Richard? He was the first NHL player to hit 50 goals in one season. It was back in the 1940s. It was huge at the time, but today, hardly even makes it into the top 100. And Gretzky's 92 goals in the 81 season, well, that's going to be broken at some point. But these inevitable facts don't seem to stop many athletes from thinking that they're much better than they actually are. It doesn't mean, though, that you can't think well of yourself or your accomplishments, or you have to think that you're nothing. See, I've been making pizza for about 15 years now. I make it every Friday night, and I must say, it's good pizza. Some might even say great pizza. But I know I'm not the best pizza maker in the world, and I would never claim that for myself, because I'm humble. But I'm sure there are people out there who make an even better pizza. And if you're one of them, please invite me over for dinner. So humility in one sense is understanding who you are and having an accurate view of yourself and what you've done. So how does God measure up in this? Well, he says some pretty lofty things about himself. Exodus 34, God says that he is merciful and gracious. He's slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness, keeping steadfast love for thousands, forgiving iniquities and transgressions and sin. Isaiah 48 says, my glory I will not give to another. The book of John is filled with Jesus making some incredible claims about himself. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the resurrection. I am the light of the world. But, unlike us mere mortals, who'd be crazy to say these things about ourselves, I think God is well within his rights to claim all these things about himself, because he is the self-existent creator of everything. He's all-powerful, all-knowing, the very definition of good and love. So by saying these things, he is giving us an accurate picture of who he is and what he's done, and therefore he's humble. The second aspect of humility is being willing to give up your rightful position to serve others. You ever noticed your mom or dad or maybe grandma at Thanksgiving dinner? They wait until everyone else has gone through the line before they get their food. And even though they spent hours making this food and inviting everybody to their house, they show humility by giving up any rightful claims to getting the food while it's nice and hot. What about God? Does he do this kind of thing? Oh yeah, he's the perfect example of this. Philippians 2 says this about Jesus. Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privilege. He took the humble position of a slave and was born a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on the cross. He gave up the glories of heaven to come to this crummy place. Born in a stable, lived a hard life, and ultimately died for us, the people who were rebelling against him. 2 Corinthians says God made him, Jesus, who had no sin, to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. Talk about a raw deal for him. But that was the depth of his humility, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Remember before the Last Supper, Jesus took off his robe and he washed the dirty, smelly, stinky feet of his disciples? He demonstrated that the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So the answer to your question, is God humble? Oh, you better believe it. God is the perfect embodiment of love, mercy, justice, and humility. Mr. Perry out. Hey, how's my hair? Does it look okay? All right, thanks.